Welcome back, Reptile fam. Hope you guys are having an amazing day. Hope you guys are having fun breeding, keeping, and loving on your reptiles. This is a reptile channel. Guys, just a heads up, a disclaimer. Reptiles are addicting, so if you guys get stuck on reptiles and start breeding tons of them, I warned you right now. Anyways, before we get started, if you guys are new to my channel or you guys are seasoned veterans and you haven't subscribed, please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. That notification bell keeps you in the loop of all my upcoming videos. And what it does for me is it gets the algorithm going, gets my message out there. And guys, if you guys get anything from these videos by liking or subscribing, it's a really nice way of saying thank you. So today I'm going to talk about something that's a long time coming. This video I should have made a while back. It's going to be 5 things that I wish I knew before I started breeding ball pythons. There's things that I've learned in the last 5 years that could have helped me so much if I was starting out. So this is my loss and your gain. You guys can gain my knowledge of all these years, about 6 years of breeding ball pythons, and things that I could tell you right now if you guys are starting up. Anyways, guys, welcome back. So let's get started. When you're first starting out, it's a lot of information to take in. So when I first started, I started reading books, watching videos, asking anybody I knew that knew anything about breeding ball pythons. So I took all this time and tried to take all this knowledge in. But the problem is unless someone kind of explains it to you or you don't make the mistakes yourself, it's hard to learn. Especially when you don't have a mentor. Everybody says that the one thing you should have is a mentor, and I see people that have mentors go a lot faster than people that are just starting up from scratch. I live in Washington State, and there is not tons of ball python breeders here. There is some, but not as many as, say, someplace like California, or you live in Florida or Arizona. There's a lot of them down there. We're here, we are definitely more spaced out. I do have some friends here in Washington that breed and keep reptiles, and some that are actually ball python breeders, but most of the stuff I've learned, I had to learn from either reading books or watching people's videos. Let's start with number 5. None of these are better, so they're just in random order. Learning who to market my snakes to. So when I'm first starting out, honestly guys, you're not going to be selling your snakes to breeders. People get this mindset. They watch these YouTube videos of these people making $5,000, $10,000 snakes. Unless you have a silver spoon and born with one, you're going to be making this out of your own pocket. And that's one thing with me is, even though I make a good living, we live really well here in Yakima, Washington. I do very well. But the problem is that you have a certain lifestyle that you carve out for yourself. You have cars, you have activities, you go on trips, and your money, most of it's allocated. Then you have some fun money. So when you're first starting out, unless you want to take all that fun money and change your lifestyle and start putting that money on this hobby / business, you're going to have to find some other ways of marketing. And what I didn't know at first was I had this in my head that I had to make these $10,000 snakes, $20,000. I was just hell-bent on making these. And now I realize that when I first started out, I was making snakes for just average Joes. I'm making snakes for people that are at reptile shows or just wanting a pet. Once I figured that out, it really helped me out because I was paying all this money for these snakes, trying to get ahead of the game and keep up with Justin Kaboka and all these guys. And I realized I don't need to do that anymore because 80% of my snakes or 90% of my snakes are going to go to people that just want pets or starting out breeders. When you're making your snakes, just think about what the average consumer would want at a show. So like, most people are not going to spend $2,000 on a snake. Most of them are going to spend about $1,000 or less on a pet. Just like if you went and bought a Doberman dog, most people are going to spend about $1,500 or less. People are not going to spend $2,000 on a pet. So that's who you're marketing to when you first start out. It might change later down the road. You might be breeding only for breeders, but you need to make a name for yourself. So make snakes for people that want pets. Another thing I didn't know is that I could have bought adult female normal ball pythons. And that sounds like a bad choice for some people, like, oh my God, I wouldn't do that. Hear me out and I'll tell you why. It gives you a big jump on the game. Because like if I was looking on Morph Market and I see someone who I don't know selling a pied female that's 4 or 5 years old, 2,000 grams, I would have a warning sign in my head this person's trying to sell off a troubled snake. But if I see someone online or even around town selling a normal female, they're just getting rid of it. That makes sense to me because people get rid of normals all the time. And that's a way of getting a big head start on your breeding process. What that means is if you get females that can breed right away, you can get you a male online and start breeding them and actually bringing some money in. I waited. I started buying all these hatchlings. Honestly, now I would definitely buy subadults or better. But I was first starting out learning. I was buying high-end hatchlings, and I was spending so much money and so much time on these ones, raising them up before I could start actually breeding them and making any kind of money from them. And we're not trying to make money to make a fortune. What we're trying to do is get money to actually pay for your hobby, so you're not taking it out of your own personal money. That's what I'm trying to do, and that's what I do now. Actually, I make a profit, but at first, I was just trying to make money so I wouldn't waste all my money on my hobby. I was trying to keep my head above water without making a big vacuum, because this hobby will suck you in if you start giving it so much money, it'll take it away from you. Which brings us to number 3. The reason why I said use normals is actually breeding supers or making a het army. I've had other videos about this, but guys, if you take those large females that you purchase, those normals, and you pair them with, say, a super, super form is 2 co-dominant genes that make pretty much a dominant gene, and anything you breed them to is going to have that gene in them. So if I have a super banana, I breed it with this normal, it's going to have banana. It will not be super, but it will have a banana gene in it. So I'm not breeding normals, and I can actually sell them for a decent amount of money. So honestly, if I get these bananas and I sell them on Morph Market, or I go to a show, I'm going to get probably about $175 to $250 for each one of those. If they're female, a little bit more, but that gives you a way of starting and start bringing some money in. It's going to make more money than just the cost of like upkeep. I'm not saying you're going to bring tons of money. You're not going to be able to rake it up in a big pile and roll around on it. Also, like I said, with hets, that's a big way of using those normals. So if I went and bought me, say at the time, I didn't have lots of money, but say I bought me an ultra male and I wanted to work with ultra male, and I bought me an ultra male snake, say an ultra male banana, and I started breeding it with these normal girls. They might get that banana gene because it's not a super gene, it's just a banana gene. I might have a 50-50 chance of getting banana with these babies, but they're going to be all het for ultra male. And when I keep some, hold them back, next time I breed them with that same male that I bred with that female, those hatchlings are going to start giving me visuals. And that's a good way of jump starting. And also, a het will sell for a lot more money than just a basic normal. Normals don't make much money. Be honest, guys, you're probably going to get 25 to 50 bucks. If you are lucky, you might get 100, maybe here in town. But when you start getting a bunch of these normals, they're hard to pawn off unless you sell them for really cheap. This is the one that really I kind of wish I knew. This is more from Spinning Times. It shows knowing what morphs sell better. So what morphs I can actually make money from. There's snakes that you breed for hobby, and there's snakes you breed for money. Honestly, if you want to make money, you should probably work with banana, pied, and clown. All pretty much high-end morphs have clown in it. A lot of the high-end morphs have pied in it, and banana is just one of those genes that really are great for pet owners and also for mid-grade snakes. I haven't really seen any super high-end snakes with banana yet. I mean, I've seen them hit or miss, sprinkled here, little dab, but the low-grade snakes have lots of banana. So if I knew that, I would have started working with these a lot sooner. After I figured this out, I started working with pied right away, and I started breeding pied on a regular basis and making money, but I had time lost trying to figure this out for myself. What can you do? You know, you have to learn, but that's why I'm telling you, so you guys can learn from my mistakes. Here is the one that I've learned big time for me. This one might be relevant for you, might not be, and that's going to be breeding African software rats. When I first got into it, I was feeding frozen, and frozen worked really well for me until I started getting lots of snakes. When I started getting 10, 20, 30 snakes, I started watching the bill, and my profit margin was really going down. So again, I was trying to keep my head above water without dumping all my money into my hobby, but I saw that this was taking a big chunk out of my revenue, what I was bringing home or what I was trying to make even. And so I started breeding normal rats. Normal rats are easy to breed, but they're a hassle. I had nothing but trouble. I mean, I was breeding them really well, but they always trying to get the smell down, always trying to stop them. They breed so fast, and you can't have tons of them in one cage. I'm trying to find a way to have all my grow outs, keep my females and from out burning out, and trying to have nurseries for them, all these babies. And then I realized that they're not for me. I still breed normals on a small to little scale, but now I breed African softwares. Guys, African softwares, once you figure out how they work, I have people that figured out instantly. You tell them what to do, or they started out, they go, I thought this was hard. As long as you know what you're doing and what they need, they will actually breed faster than normals. I think so anyways. The only downfall is they do have smaller babies, but it is kind of nice because anything like smaller, like king snakes and stuff, can actually eat their babies. But again, for bigger snakes, you have to let them grow up a little bit longer. But the great thing is you don't need all these freaking grow out bins, man. I hated all the freaking grow out bins. I had so many of them. It drove me absolutely insane because if you have 10 rats in a tub, I mean, you're going to have a nightmare of normal rats because they just wipe it out and they'll stink. You'll have neighbors complaining at you, even though it's in your garage. I never have, but I know they would because if you don't maintain it, that smell will take over. That's why I had to clean them out all the time. Try different ways of learning to keep that smell down. With African soft furs, I can bring them right here, put it right here on this wall, have a rack, and you would never know that they're here. And they don't smell up the room, and they actually enjoy being in large colonies. And the tubs are smaller, they take up less room. I just love them. Best decision I ever made was going to African soft furs. So if there actually is a number one on this video, it's going to be learning about African soft furs. It's changed my life and took so much stress off of my reptile breeding because I'm actually have more time to do videos and to be a lot more relaxed because I felt like I was always a slave to those normal rats. And I don't feel like that anymore. Anyways, guys, so I hope this helps you out, guys. This is some things that I learned, and they will really help you out and give you a big jump start on breeding. Check out some of my other videos right here that I've been working on. Also, hit that subscribe button, guys. I will see you next time, guys. I love you. I thank you for being part of my family. I will see you next time. Peace.